Hello, and a very good morning to you all. Thank you for joining us for today's DrayTek product briefing. I'm Alex Schuker, Head of Product at DrayTek UK, and with me today is today's presenter, Łukasz Waligórski, one of our DrayTek product specialists. As a product specialist, Łukasz is one of the first to get his hands on our engineering samples, so he gets to play with all the new products and explore their features and functionality, and have generally lots of fun with them. But it also makes him really well placed to tell you about the product and to be the person briefing you today on our two new additions to the DrayTek router range. Just an intro on this presentation. This is a product launch presentation for the Vigor 2767 AX and the Vigor 2928. It's being recorded and it will be available later for streaming, and you're welcome to ask any questions later or during, in fact, the presentation. You can just type a question and it will be sent privately to panelists who are on the presentation, who will be able to reply to you directly. Before I just go over the presentation, let's just give you an orientation of the GoToWebinar interface. So the interface here just shows you how you can view the screen. What you can do is you can click on the high control panel to minimize that and get the maximum screen on there, and also there's a little square a couple below that icon wise that will minimize and maximize the screen, so you can make it go into the full screen. You can also change the percentage as well. You can kind of zoom or zoom out to make it fit the screen perfectly. At any point you're able to ask a question. If you type the question box at the bottom there, you'll be able to ask questions, and we can answer them immediately, but also at the end we'll have a Q&A section. Today's presentation is on two really exciting new products. The first is the Vigor 2767 AX, an additional variant to our 2767 series of DSL and 2.5 gig Ethernet WAN routers. And then also the other product we've got today is the Vigor 2928, which is also 2.5 gig Ethernet, but what's more, it supports 10 gig Ethernet. So it's a multi-gigabit dual WAN router, which is fully compatible with FTTP and has that 10 gig capability, so that if you do get upgraded in the future, it allows you to deliver up to 9.3 gigabits per second of throughput. But I think that's enough for me. Let me pass over to Łukasz and he'll run you through the full presentation on both the products. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It's a very high number of attendees, and I hope we're gonna spend a good time discussing the new products and some new features available on the platform. On the screen, we can see the Vigor 2767 AX 4G, and we're gonna cover that in a sec. It's one of the new DrayOS 5 routers, which comes with great features. So let's have a look. It's the first of its kind router that runs DrayOS 5 operating system. However, what's unique on this platform is the additional 4G built-in modem. And what's new here as well, we haven't had that before, is support of eSIM. So basically, we don't have to use plastic SIM cards anymore. We can just configure the eSIM profile and have it running that way. So you can have one interface active, and you can still use the plastic SIM slot and decide by setting on the router which particular SIM connection is needed. Not only that, you can have a VDSL or ADSL connection there, and there is also the 2.5 gig Ethernet interface, so it gives you that flexibility of using fiber to the premises, VDSL, 4G, or any other type of internet connection you may have. The 2.5 gig Ethernet interface is switchable. I'll cover interfaces in a second. What's also important is it's smashing of a 2 gig firewall throughput. So I think that's one of the most important parameters when we purchase a new router. On top of that, we got a lot of VPN tunnels, up to 16 remote teleworkers or LAN to LAN connections. And this product comes with the AX3000 Wi-Fi. So let's have a closer look at the hardware, at the interfaces. So obviously, wireless products come with the antennas. That's number one here. We've got one port. It's a fixed interface for the telephone connection, DSL. So again, our ADSL or VDSL can be linked with this router directly. And then we've got a switchable port. It's a 2.5 gig Ethernet, number 3 on the screen, and followed by 4, which is the gigabit LAN port, 3 in total. And finally, we can use the USB port as well as yet another backup for LTE compatible dongle, maybe a thermometer. Yes, you can use a thermometer to check the temperature around your router, or you can connect a printer or a USB disk there. Number 6 is the SIM slot. This product supports, comes with a tray where 2 nano-sized SIM cards can be populated there. And then you can see number 7 on the top of the screen. That's the mobile broadband antenna. Why would you use the new product, the Vigor 2767AX 4G? I believe it's an ideal solution for retail, where there is a point of sale system, security cameras, and so on. This product basically works great with business continuity in mind. So if one of the internet connections goes down, you can use the secondary, let's say LTE connection. We can also use it for deployment where remote teleworkers need to connect to the office. There's VPN on boards, and we can make it secure. Professional small offices, yes, definitely. That's a dedicated location for this router. Again, security in mind, you can segment the network as well. You can provide your guests with the Wi-Fi access, but it won't be part of your production network. It can be segmented. And the routers of this type, we have a history of providing that to a lot of branches, hundreds in some cases, and all that can be managed by our Vigor ACS platform. But if needed, it can be directly connected as well through the web interface. Some of the key features here is the DrayOS 5 operating system. So it's our new platform, and it's a 64-bit system, so a great improvement. On the right-hand side, you can see the interface. So it's quite similar. However, the menu item, the navigation has improved, in my opinion. For those who haven't had the chance to see the interface yet, we're gonna have some demos running in a moment. The new features on board, I think the most interesting part would be the Zero Trust IAM system and the virtual controller, which allows you to control DrayTek access points and switches from the interface of your router. And what's most important for many customers, you can manage this router, DrayOS 5 router, from your Vigor ACS as well. So it's fully compatible from day one. So firmware version 5.something is how we can actually identify if our new router is running DrayOS 5, because that might be one of the questions you guys may have. So let's have a look closely on the interface. If you log into your DrayTek router and you can see the firmware version, like on the screen, this particular one runs 5.3.5. So the first number indicates the version of your DrayOS OS. Now let's have a look at some demo so we can get more familiar with the product, with the interface and the feel of the new operating system. So we do use the same 192.168.1.1 default IP address of the router that's been available across. However, the router is redirecting us straight away to the HTTPS encrypted traffic. The browser didn't detect the certificate, but that's expected. It's not connected to the servers outside. Admin is our default password, and obviously for security purposes, it will force us to update the password to something more secure. At least 8 characters, upper, lowercase, and some numbers or special characters are required here. Now, once we pass that section, you can see actually DrayTek products are now focused on security, and we've got the new password entered. There's the dashboard we have seen earlier. And in order to configure the product, we can go to configuration, and that's where most of the configuration sections are located. So basic settings, we can enable or disable interface, even LEDs. We can also configure some other options like disabling specific LAN ports. In the WAN section, we can configure, let's say, VDSL line here. So the physical type is DSL. We can specify the type, so it's gonna be quicker to sync. And then for the VLAN tag, for the UK, we can set it to 1201. Ireland would be 10. And basically, we just need to add the credentials if required by your internet provider. Most of them would use PPPoE, where username and password is required. Again, for security and informative purposes, you got that message because PPP protocol is not considered secure. However, there is nothing to worry about it here because that particular connection is a point-to-point connection. So we connect to our internet provider. There shouldn't be really any issue with that. Now for the WAN connection detection, I believe that's one of the most cool features on DrayTek. Ping detect was selected here, so that will tell the router straight away the connection is down. So after 5 pings, the router may notify us that, oh, this one connection is down. What's good about this product as well is you can have multiple internet connections. However, one will be active at the same time. And if the one connection detection goes down, you could basically have the automated failover option enabled. On the screen, we can see that our 1.1 connection is up and running. There is a green IP address. That's a good sign. And the second setup here is our wireless LAN. What's nice about it is you don't have to configure 2 wireless LAN profiles anymore for 2 radio bands. There's only one profile that we need to configure. You can do it all from this page. So we specify SSID password. We can set a VLAN. At the moment, only one available. And on the right-hand side, by default, both radio bands are enabled. And what happens if we actually need more subnets, more SSIDs, so more wireless networks? That's pretty easy as well. What we need to do, we just go to the LAN and we can see current settings and VLAN list. At the moment, there's only one default VLAN, so we can add yet another VLAN, let's say for our guests. Here I use ID of 20, and then we're gonna use that for our second subnet in a moment. So this is quick notification here, and we're gonna have that option available for our second SSID once it's defined. At the moment, not a single physical interface is linked with this particular VLAN. However, our new guest SSID will be a part of the new settings. So there we go. Again, everything from a single interface. If you need to edit or configure detailed stuff for the SSID for your wireless network, then we would just click on the option edit button on the right hand side. Another cool feature that we quite often do is we upgrade our operating system on DrayTek routers, on any routers in fact. And what would be good to have is easy process to do so. So we got the standard manual option where you can upload the new firmware once downloaded from our website. And here is the upload button on the page we can see right now. However, with latest drOS 5 firmware, there is a new feature that allows us automated upgrade options. So the router will basically pick a specified schedule time or in the middle of the night option here to upgrade the firmware automatically. So you don't actually need to use any additional software management platforms to do so. The router will now check and upgrade its firmware. There is nothing to worry about it. I will still obviously check maybe once a week or something to see if our routers do run latest firmware, because it's important for security, bugs, fixes, and new features to have on board. But that process should be automated now for us. If your router doesn't have such option, please check if you can upgrade, and it should be available. Some other features available on drOS 5 is identity and access management. So it's a pretty cool option where we can define all our devices on the network. Why would you use that? Well, it makes your control of the network, of the devices, of the roles, the management part of that quite easy to control. The system allows you to basically define, let's say, a device that should have access to specific resources on your network, but maybe shouldn't have access to the subnet that is part of our financial department, or some other IT maybe shouldn't. IT people should have access to everything for admin purposes, but maybe non-IT people shouldn't have access to their network because they keep some security rules and stuff that are accessible to specific users. All that can be now configured from this new IAM section of the router. So I think that's quite helpful here. Another feature that we kind of seen before in drOS 4 is the virtual controller. So it's basically the router-based central management for access points and switches. What's new here is that everything is within one section now, virtual controller, and when we select the detect adopt option, the device can basically find all our DrayTek access points on the network, regardless if they are wired or wireless, and then adopt them, and we can have our mesh or wired network of access points providing Wi-Fi configured, and it will be nice and easy to control. The demo of that is going to be run in a second. So here, under the virtual controller device, we've got the mesh status and AP adoption. So this is the one we need to start with. Once we run the scan, so this is a pre-recorded stuff, so it takes about a minute or two to find a device. Here we've got the AP 805, and it takes about a minute or two to find the device, add it, and then this particular device has been added. Now they communicate with each other, the mesh root and mesh node. Shortly after, we can see the uplink is Ethernet, so it's actually a hardwired access point, my recommended option for performance purposes. And you can see many additional features. However, they were not available yet because the device is still in sync. Now we can reboot, factory reset, send the config sync as well, and many other options that are available for us, all from a single interface of the router. So if we are planning to move to the new platform and to the 2767 family products, you may or may not, but many of you have used the 2765 or even 66, 2763 products. So the key differences here are, or maybe let's see what kind of focus the DSL, the fixed WAN port. All of those products are aimed for the Soho smart home market, and they're so flexible. They give you so many different types of internet connection that can be used with this product, from the built-in RJ11 DSL modem, so we can have our ADSL VDSL connection. It comes with 3 LAN ports, gigabit, so all the same for all our products listed here on the page. However, what's new here is the new heart of the system, hence we've got faster interface now, the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet that can be set to WAN or LAN. The built-in LTE modem is kind of new for the 2767 series family and DrayOS 5. So it's the first DrayOS 5 product that can handle DSL and LTE connection in one box. And there is an improved Wi-Fi connectivity. So now we've got AX3000 versus our Wi-Fi 5 products on the right-hand side. And the key parameter is the firewall throughput, NAT throughput. This new product series, they can handle over 2 gigabits per second. So that's a huge improvement here. And down the bottom, just before we move on to the final page, is the number of VPN tunnels. So increased number, 16 VPN tunnels, is really good number for many small businesses and pro consumers, the smart home enthusiasts. Now for the pricing, the existing established product, so we've got wired and wireless 2767 routers. You can see them on the screen. And the new 2767 AX 4G can cost around 349 plus VAT. Again, it's our most advanced or most feature-rich product from the 27 series now, where VDSL, 4G LTE, and fast Ethernet connection is available. To summarize, what's good about the product, it provides flexible connectivity. As I mentioned, different type of internet connection is no problem. We don't need to buy any modems or connect anything extra for most cases. Just use the built-in options for DSL, 4G, or Ethernet for the FTTP connectivity. Great improvement and future-proof, over 2 gig internet speeds available, and it's probably the best product for now, probably basic stuff like 4K video streaming, large file transfers, or attaching NAS drives on our local network. Now we're going to move to our next product, the 2928. But before I do, I would like to make sure that you guys are aware of the questions section. So if you use the GoToWebinar app, please do send us some questions. I can't see how many questions were sent, probably a lot, but our team is happy to answer all of them. And if you don't have any questions answered, because there were so many, we're gonna come back to you later. So that's not a problem. We're also gonna have a Q&A session at the end where we will try to reach most or some of the most important questions. So everyone will have a chance to listen to that as well. Okay, so let's move to our very fast Vigor 2928 router. It's a multi-gigabit, multi-WAN router that can handle almost 10 gigabits per second speeds. So let's have a look quickly at the key features. And why it's multi-WAN, multi-gigabit? It comes with the 10 gigabit SFP plus interfaces. There's also our first 10 gigabit Ethernet port as well available, and it can be used for the WAN or the LAN connection. But what's the most important bit here is the fact that the router can handle over 9 gigabits per second total maximum throughput and 400 megabits per second VPN throughput. That's without the hardware acceleration. It might be more with the new firmware as well. What's another smashing information here is the 50 VPN tunnels. So that's a lot. So you can have a lot of people connecting simultaneously, or maybe some smart devices or whatever is needed over the secure connection. For the LAN part, we've got some dedicated interfaces as well. This product, as well as the previous 2767 I just covered, they all fully compatible with our management platform, Vigor ACS. If you haven't used one, we actually run some demos and one-to-one sessions as well. So if you put down your name and maybe tag of like Vigor ACS or I'm interested, our team will be able to assist you as well with that. So let's quickly check what's on board of the 2928. So obviously they all come with, or most of the routers come with the factory reset button here. That's number one. Number two, some LED ports or indicators, so we can see if the router is actually working fine and which type of the WAN connection is active at the same time. You may notice that only one, two, or three can be active. However, out of the three, only 2 WAN connections are available. What that means, you've got load balancing feature. So if a single PC goes to a website, I don't know, BBC, let's say, and then the same PC is trying to connect to a bank account, it may happen that they actually use 2 internet connections at the same time. If we look at the ports, that's number 3, 2 USB ports, the thermometer, printer, or a NAS USB drive can be connected there along with the USB dongle. So if you need some backup option that is like mobile broadband, a compatible dongle can be connected there. Number 4 is the mentioned WAN interface. That's a 1 gigabit port, and it's only one interface. Number 5 is our 1.2 interface, SFP plus slot, so we can connect up to 10 gigabit lines through this interface. That's also a dedicated WAN port. Number 6 is the 10 gigabit Ethernet interface that can be set to WAN or LAN. And then number 7 is a dedicated LAN port, SFP plus again, up to 10 gig on your LAN. So if you connect your DrayTek switches with the SFP, that's fully compatible, and that's a great connection and this distribution point for your network. Number 8 is yet another faster interface, 2.5 gig. So we can connect maybe a dedicated NAS drive here. And then there are additional 3 1 gigabit Ethernet ports, that's number 9. So where would you use such products? So obviously it's a future-proof solution. So if it's like a 1 gig fiber, 2 gig fiber, no problem. It can actually handle almost 10 gigabit here. So whatever happens in the next 3 to 5 years or maybe longer, this router should be smashing. It should provide the speed, the reliability. It can handle VPN connections, so it's an ideal solution for businesses that grow and need that secured access to the network. And then you can provide working from home as well for your remote workers, or connect your remote branches, or even home network with business network through the LAN-to-LAN VPN tunnel. For SMB office space, there's a suggestion of 50 to 200 employees here. That would be an ideal solution for maybe a law firm, accountancy, consultancy companies, so where security and high performance is needed. This product is widely used across, or maybe the 2927, the older brother, across multi-site enterprise and branches, and this new version of the 2920 routers is gonna be definitely a good choice. Again, the performance is outstanding. It's over 9 gig here, so I believe everyone will be happy with the new option here. So let's quickly compare the 2928 series with the 2927. First of all, we can see additional options for the fixed WAN interfaces. Not only that, we can choose between 1 gig and even 10 gig connectivity. So the 2927 series could offer a single 1 gigabit interface here, and there was a switchable interface as well. However, for the LAN side, there's also a great improvement. So the 2767 offers up to 5 gigabit ports, whereas 2928, we come with that 10 gigabit SFP plus and the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet plus the 1 gig interfaces. For the NAT throughput, which is probably the most important indicator, you can have over 9 gig connectivity speed. That's the total firewall throughput. For a single interface, for a single Ethernet of the 2927, it could handle around 940 megabits per second. The VPN performance has also improved, 430 versus 250. For hardware acceleration, we're gonna have more data available soon. In terms of pricing, yes, that's the price, $289 plus VAT SRP. So I think it's a very affordable solution. And again, let's cover the key features. So the product comes with the SFP plus WAN interface, perfect for upgrading to a fiber broadband. I'm sure there are some locations that can have such connectivity offered by ISPs. For the LAN side, or WAN if needed, there is a single 10 gigabit Ethernet interface available as well. That could be a great option for load balancing if needed. There is also the SFP Plus LAN port. So SFP Plus can handle up to 10 gigabit connection. Additional ports, 2.5 gig and 3 single gig LAN ports, BIGO ACS compatible. In fact, it can also manage access points and switches through the virtual controller option. So it won't have the mesh option because it's a wired product. However, virtual controller still can handle hardwired access points and switches. So I think we reached the Q&A session here, and I'm excited to help with any questions you may have, and Alex may join us in a moment as well.
Hello, Łukasz. Thank you very much for the presentation. We've had quite a few questions come through during the presentation, and we've endeavoured to answer people directly, but it's a great opportunity for us to use some of those questions to kind of relay that to the whole audience. So where to start? Let's go back to the beginning. There's a question about product availability. Some people have been asked about is the product now available on sale?
Yes, definitely. This is the day you can start purchasing the new products, and they are
Lost Łukasz's audio there, so I'll just complete that while he looks at this. So yeah, the products are available, so you should be able to get them from your local suppliers. Your normal DrayTek suppliers will have the product in stock, so that's available in the UK and Ireland. The next question is whether or not there are any not for resale versions available. And the answer to that one is that yes, there are. So not for resellers where people can get a discounted model. If you talk to your supplier, they should be able to offer you an NFR model at a discount. If you are interested in being put in touch, if you message info@draytek.co.uk or leave a comment, then we can get you in touch with the suppliers who'll be able to offer you not for resale versions. It's really handy to get a one unit. There's normally a limit to the number that you can purchase, but it's quite good for getting a unit so that people can use for their own testing and demonstration purposes. The next question is about other variants. So Łukasz, there's been a question about the Vigor 2928, and are there any other versions that are going to be available?
Yes, Alex. So we are launching, or we have just launched the 2928 wired version of the router, and we are going to have the wireless version as well. That will be the Vigor 2928 BE. What that means is it's gonna be our first Wi-Fi 7 router with smashing speeds, and there will be also the mobile broadband failover option with integrated SIM modem. So we are going to have at least 2 more products from the 2928 series.
Thank you. And related to that is a question about the 2767. So the version that we've got, the 2767AX 4G, is there's a question about what's the difference between that and the Vigor C410AX that is already available.
Sorry, I didn't catch the question, Alex.
Okay, sorry. The difference between the Vigor C410AX and the Vigor 2767AX 4G, because they look quite similar in the
Oh,
case.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. Yes, they look quite similar. However, they're slightly different products. So the C410 comes with the Ethernet port for the internet connection, and obviously the modem, the built-in modem, 4G modem. The same actually module is available on the 2767AX 4G. However, this product also offers the DSL connectivity, so ADSL or VDSL option available on boards. So that's the key difference. That's the key advantage of the 2767AX 4G.
And also the 2.5 gig Ethernet as well on the 2767, because the Ethernet on the C410 is just one gig rather than 2.5 gig Ethernet.
Well spotted, Alex. Well done.
Yeah. had time to think over the question that came in earlier. Another question here is about DrayOS 4 and DrayOS 5. So the question is specifically, will DrayOS 4 devices be possible to be updated to DrayOS 5?
So whichever products could get the Drayos 5, they actually running it right now. Drayos 5 had to be, it's a 64-bit architecture, so there's a different platform needed for that. So if the product was designed from day one that it's going to run such platform, the 64-bit Drayos 5, then it can handle it. So from now on, I believe we are going to see only Drayos 5 new DrayTek products, but Drayos 4 products are fully supported, and we're still gonna see some new improvements and maybe features for Drayos 4 devices. Nothing to worry about it. However, they won't get the update to Drayos 5 because the hardware requirements are slightly different.
Okay, thank you. And a follow-on question for that is quite similar. It's whether or not you need a different version of ACS for Drayos 5 routers compared to the Drayos 4 routers. Vigor ACS, for anyone who doesn't know, is our management platform that allows you to manage devices in the cloud.
So the Vigor ACS platform, which I mentioned, guys, you can get a demo, free demo. Just drop a line in the chat section or email info@draytek.co.uk. So back to the question. It's actually a slightly different experience. However, the same Vigor ACS platform can be used for both types of the products, Drayos 4 and Drayos 5. They all function kind of the same way. However, the interface of Drayos 5 routers are kind of matching what you can see. So when you log into the router directly or use Vigor ACS, you kind of see the same interface, the same basically technique of changing settings can be used. But on top of that, you also got the Vigor ACS additional options to apply settings. So you got two words in one kind of word using the same Vigor ACS platform.
Okay, thank you very much. And got a question about VPN capabilities on the products. The person spotted that SSL VPN wasn't mentioned. So the question is SSL VPN planned? And if not, what would be the recommended alternatives?
So that's a well spotted and good question. Thank you, guys. SSL VPN is discontinued on Drayos 5 products because you might have seen it's not the most secure option these days. So I believe we can use EasyVPN. That's probably give us more flexibility and should be easy to set up and run. And you can also change the ports as well if needed. So the same 443 can be used if that's the main reason people use SSL VPN. Yes, and then if you use a smart VPN client, that's now fully compatible as well with the new solution DrayTek provides.
Okay, thank you very much. And the EasyVPN is something that supports a variety of different protocols, so that you're able to pick a bunch of different VPN protocols potentially for that. But there's some guides on EasyVPN on the website if you're interested in finding out more about the EasyVPN feature. Next question. The training courses. So the question is whether or not there's going to be any training courses that will run for Drayos 5.
Oh, that's a new question, very new question I haven't had before, but definitely we are working on the training so that Drayos 5 will be covered as well. We are planning to have more articles on our website, knowledge base. So just please stay in touch. If you actually would like to sign up or if you have interest in that, please do leave a comment or maybe your contact information. We will be more than happy to update you once more information is available.
Yeah, actually on that, it's a really good segue into something to do with our website. We've recently relaunched our dealer portal on the DrayTek.co.uk site. So if anyone hasn't logged in there for a while, recommend you do, because you'll find it's been a bit revamped. There's some nice additional features on there, and things like training are accessible through there. So any training courses that we run or sessions, we'll be putting them on there. But also there's some neat things like there's priority support as an option you can select on the dealer portal when you log in. And there's some other bits and pieces. So I do recommend that anyone who has an account, if you haven't logged in for a while, then do log in. But if you haven't got an account, then it's very easy to just sign up on there and get an account set up. So that's the kind of main place we're trying to put some of the new things on. So hopefully you'll find that useful. And if you've got any things you'd like to see in the dealer portal, do let us know. And on the training, if you've got interest, do add some comments in the survey afterwards, because we'll be sure to be including training in some of the webinars that we've got coming up. We've planned on doing some specific ones on Drayos 5 to help you understand some of the new capabilities and features. It's lots of great stuff that we've got on Drayos 5. So yeah, it'll be good to have some training sessions for people to dive into those in detail. Some questions here about demos. How do people arrange some demos? Do you want to just cover that, Łukasz, please? Thank you.
I might have some delays on my.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't hear the question because there was.
Okay, no, that's no worry. I'll answer that then. So for demos, we can easily arrange any demos for people. There's a bunch of ways. If you've got an account manager, just speak to them and they'll set something up for you. But if you're unsure or who your account manager is, or just want to contact directly, then you can just email info@draytek.co.uk, and we'll be able to get back to you and arrange some sessions for you for any demos that you're interested in. You could, of course, send a comment in the survey that will pop up in a moment when we finish the session as well. I think that's good time-wise now, so it's probably a good opportunity for us to kind of close. So thank you, everyone, for joining the session today. We hope you found that informative, and it's just the first that we're going to go into. I think we'll be doing some more stuff to get into more of the features and in depth when it comes to these new products, but we hope you're as excited as we are around them. It's great to have that 10 gig in this product class, and it's really something that we're looking forward to building on Drayos 5 as well when it comes to additional functionality. There's going to be a recording available for this, so if you've got anyone who wasn't able to attend today, we'll be able to send a follow-up email this week with a link to the recording, and we hope you enjoyed this session. Please do leave your feedback afterwards when you leave. That will be great for us when it comes to planning future sessions and improving all of our presentations for you. So thank you very much for attending today. And thank you, Łukasz, for your presentation.